welcome to the World Cup quarterfinal recap. I mean, the quarterfinal is, not necessarily the sorting hat round because usually there's, more. That's the round of 16, but I don't know. There's not a lot of chaos, but to be honest, that's only really just because there's 4 games compared to, 8 or 16. But this first match was kind of just a very telling match. The first half was the first half was Morocco kind of just holding on for dear life while France missed a penalty somehow. I don't. This is why you should never stutter step. It doesn't work even for one of the best penalty takers in the world. Stop doing that. But then the overwhelming attack of France just fucking annihilated them. France will be a little apprehensive of the injury to Mbappe, but I don't know. We'll see if he's okay. But yeah, just looking at the stats, the second half doesn't get much better. Morocco was attempting to hold on to the ball, but then also not shoot for some reason. Their game plan was pretty much like everyone else's against France, which is hold on for dear life, try and defense as much as possible, get a lucky goal. But it did not work. It failed pretty miserably, and it kind of shows just how good France are. Because Morocco are, a pretty good, very good national team. But there's just different levels to how good France are. It's unfair how much France has in talent. They're just just the starting lineup is like what about the Ballon d'Or winner is like arguably their third best, no, fourth best attacker, now third best attacker. Like what what is huh? Like it doesn't make sense. Even the guys off the bench, are still like, wow, okay, those guys are actually decent. Morocco has a good amount of good players, but they're just not. They're just not going to be able to hold up against France, and that's going to be a problem for everyone. Yeah, just look at that match momentum. It wasn't a surprising result, but just yeah, France. The best chance for someone to take down France was Paraguay, I think. In at least these earlier rounds, this is when they actually finally start to play games. Is the semifinals. Just another glimpse in the wind. Hope of someone outside of Europe or South America to get top three. It kind of just washes away. Yeah, that happens. But in the next match, we would actually get some sort of fight between the two. So Belgium coming into this game were on fire after kicking the shit out of the United States. By far the worst round of 16 performance anyone had. And they came into this thinking, okay, well, maybe if we just, get a goal and hopefully our defense is able to lock down Spain. It didn't start that way, but Spain finally, this entire tournament they had not given up a goal. They finally gave up a goal. This guy is just too good. I mean, you thought the other attacking talents for Belgium, are old and washed. This guy is not old or washed, so that's not good for the Belgium hater in me. But if we look at the first half, obviously Spain was dominating, but that's kind of what you expect. Belgium is still made up of a bunch of old, you know, pretty good players, but Spain is made up of much better players. And it certainly showed in the second half where they just held on to the damn ball for dear life. I mean, it was pretty much Belgium's game plan was just try and play defense against Spain. Hopefully, hope that they would get a counter attacking goal or two. But that did not happen. Mikel fucking Marino once again with a ball into the net. That gives Spain the win. Even when they tried to put on the old heads, Lukaku. The real killer for Belgium was they had to sub off Thibaut Courtois. It was pretty much over by that point. If I believe that the United States could have at least gotten a second goal against a dude that wasn't Thibaut Courtois, but that didn't happen. We got the one free kick, and that's pretty much all we could get. So it's not going. It's not going. I guess. Yeah. Having to saw KDB subbing on Mikel Marino, and then he just pops in the net. It's not like it wasn't unexpected. Obviously, when Belgium had the ball, they actually took the chance to score a goal. But every other part of this game was basically Spain dominating the crap out of this game, and it wasn't much of a surprise. Belgium did good to actually make it to the quarterfinal, actually not look like a fraud for once, actually beat up on a team that is, quote unquote, at their level. So good on them, I guess. But Spain's going to have a tough ask against France. They're probably the only team that will be able to beat them at this point. We'll see. We'll see. Spain, I don't know, man. I would have thought that the wingers would have gotten more goals for this team, but in the end, it's the number 9 anyway. Yeah, just you would think that the wingers would do much better, but I don't know. Their match ratings tell otherwise, but they aren't scoring. Spain needs to learn how to score goals like real fast because they got a game against France real soon. And if you don't figure that out by now, it's just not gonna end well. But hey, Spain, you made it to the semifinal. It's better than certain other performances. So good job, you did it. You made it to the semifinal. It's about as expected for a country like you, but sometimes you just gotta get there. Poor Belgium though, they had to face up against Spain. The next match was much more of an intriguing match, despite the difference in FIFA rankings. Norway, by far the lowest country to have made it to a quarterfinal in some time. 31 in the world to start. It's really just because they haven't had the chance to raise their FIFA rankings. But start out, it looked like Norway would actually do something. Be like, wow, you pop up with a 36-minute goal from not Erling Haaland. Erling Haaland just looked terrible in this game. But then Jude Bellingham just casually scores another goal in the 45+2. England makes some subs. Norway, of course, has a goal disallowed. Speaking of disallowed goals, this probably what was it? Was it the first one? Yeah, the first one should have probably been disallowed. It may or may not have touched the camera wire. The camera wire that goes up there. It's very uncommon for literally any other country to have cameras that go wee above the pitch, but that's just how you do it in the United States. That's exactly what we have in American football. You always see that all the time with kickoffs occasionally, or balls get thrown into it for some reason. I don't know, but it's not unexpected. But there was a lot of controversy surrounding it. The video didn't show it. The FIFA's cricket manufactured thingy didn't show a touch, but then some sort of BBC graphic showed it. It looked off, which very funny that BBC is run by England anyway. But nothing is scored into 90 minutes, despite a lot of non-effort from both sides. Again, England just trying to hold on to possession and failing miserably. They did well in the first half, but in the second half they just didn't. But in extra time, it was all England. It just was all England. They got a goal here in the 93rd. They had a penalty that could have been called, but it just wasn't. It wasn't overly enough of a penalty to actually call it. But and then Norway finally subbed off Erling Haaland, and normally that's not good, but I mean he just looked terrible. I mean, what 6.2? It's even below average for the team. Like, I mean, I get it, like Harry Kane also looked awful, but that's just what happens. Sometimes Jude Bellingham scores two, and you don't need Harry Kane. But like, uh, even with the match momentum, you just couldn't do anything, and unlucky for you know Norway. Dan Burn was then subbed on, and that was just basically the end of the game. So Norway did exceptionally well in this tournament to make it to the quarterfinal. You'd have hoped that they would have gotten more, but considering how injured Erling Haaland looked and a bunch of the other guys just did not look up to par, it makes sense that they lose to England. At least for England, you're not disappointing again. Like, wow. I mean, it's 2018, that was a revelation of actually winning games, making it to the semifinal. You made it again. It's almost like this is exactly what you are supposed to be doing as a team that is made up of players from the best league in the world. So finally, you're doing something. Good job. Um, yeah, just a lot of controversy surrounding the first goal, but they were never going to disallow it. The fact that it only really was super obvious through a video simulation from the BBC that was made like the day after, it's it was never going to get overturned. I'm sorry, but it just wasn't. In reality, we should just ban wires from being above the pitch, but that's not going to happen because FIFA wants those shots of whatever. I don't know. Uh, yeah, yeah. Looks even. I don't know how even it actually was though. I think it was just England forgetting how to shoot the ball sometimes, and yeah, that's just how it goes. That's just how it goes. How do you give up one goal on that? Okay, but yeah, unlucky performance for Norway. But what is the opposite of unlucky is obviously lucky, and that is exactly what Argentina is falling themselves into. Because after playing, um, after playing pretty horrid in the first half and playing pretty horrid in the second half. Don't look, these stats don't make sense. Uh, Argentina still was up 1-0. And it's like, okay, well, I've seen this a billion times. Argentina just gets an early goal, puts the game away. I've seen this, Copa America that was like the first major tournament that I was, paying attention to Argentina all too much. Obviously, 2022 still was, but you just kept seeing it against South American teams, and you see it in the last World Cup, and it's just like, okay, this is just how you kill off the game, and then Switzerland scores. They just randomly score, and it's like, oh, okay, and I mean, like, it's That's good. You actually finally used some of the momentum. You add like I mean Argentina had a little bit in the start of the second half, but then it became all Switzerland. It's like wow, Argentina just looks like shit. It looked like absolutely nothing. But then, so you remember the Tim Ream incident where a card that was given to him was given to the Paraguayan dude that eventually got sent off for covering his mouth for flopping horrendously. Well, we have finally seen the second instance of this in the World Cup, and it was to make it a second yellow card for Embolo, and he gets sent off for one of the worst dives you will ever see. I have no clue why the referee had given the yellow in the first place to the other guy, but the conspiracy theory is that he gave it to that dude so that VAR could look to see if it was a dive or not. I don't know if that's really true, but it could be possible. Um, yeah, that basically just changed the entire game. Switzerland would more likely than not have won this game if the dumbass didn't dive so horrendously. Okay, you do not need to flop that much after getting fouled like the previous 2 seconds ago. You don't need to flop that bad to get a call. That's just not in the spirit of the game. Obviously, reversing the second yellow, that's obviously not necessarily in the spirit of the game, but at the same time, it's a correct application of the rules. You were going to get this at some point, and honestly, it was better to get it, you know, in the knockouts, get it into get it into FIFA's head that, this shit does happen, and, maybe we'll see a different application, whether you're able to actually strike the card and remove it or something, but honestly, we've seen flops. It's not that often, but we have seen flops be given for a second yellow. Definitely a yellow. Um, Honestly, if you're gonna flop that bad, you should be punished for it somehow, and you got punished for it. And unfortunately, that has benefited one of the most fraud teams imaginable of Argentina. Argentina has played two African teams that have not choked, but have not necessarily played up to a level. Well, they have played above their level, but at the same time, they're still not. They still don't have much of the talent that Argentina has. Argentina has all the talent in the world, but whatever is happening over there is they're just squandering the talent horrendously. They just don't. They don't look exactly what you would want. But somehow they still keep winning. Somehow they still score goals. And that's exactly what they did in the 112th minute. And then, yeah, the 121st minute they just scored another one because they threw numbers up. Very unlucky result for the goalkeeper to give up that third goal, but I've seen worse. I've seen worse performances. I just after this game finished, I watched Union Omaha give up 4 goals against our biggest rivals, and one of them was our keeper flying forward. I don't have the clip for it, but he was literally like flying forward. He was like at the halfway line and just completely misses the ball. There's no one behind him, and they score. And then, the fourth goal was a 95th minute winner. Because, of course, it was. Fuck you. Anyway. So, Argentina wins, unfortunately. Just not. Just nothing was going for the Swiss's way as soon as that red card happened. And to be honest, it was completely justified. You cannot. You just cannot flop that bad and expect to actually, get away with it. But extra time was definitely just where Switzerland was begging to go to penalties, but they just were not. So, yeah. But now we get the semifinal that FIFA was having wet dreams of actual big teams. None of this pansy Morocco nonsense. It's between that. So, France versus Spain. Um, yeah, if France win this, they win the World Cup. If Spain win this, they probably win the World Cup. I'm not saying that Argentina or England are bad. It's just there are different levels between the two, and it's the top four teams, but there is a 1A, a 1B, and then a 24 and a 25. That's basically what I think of that, because I don't know. England has looked decent, but again, they gave up 2 goals to Mexico. They gave up a goal to DR Congo and struggled heavily. They gave up a goal to Norway. They've given up goals in every game, and Argentina is like on a 12-game streak where they've scored double digits. No, not double digits, just 2 goals. It's the equivalent of double digits. But yeah. Switzerland really tried the nil-nil tactic, and it just didn't work. But yeah, I would rather see England win just because it would be a fun, interesting, England versus one of these two in the World Cup final. Mostly just because England is never really in that situation, making it to a World Cup final. I hate England's fans in general. They seem to be twats, but honestly, I don't really care. Yeah, Argentinian fans are on a different level, and it's I don't know. After the racist incidents in 2022, and then after winning Copa America, beating Colombia, you sing racist chants about the French national team. While I would love for France to kick the shit out of Argentina World Cup final, it'd be even more funny if we saw France versus England, just for the historical connotations of it. Because it'd be France v France, am I right? That's funny. Spain versus England would be. I don't know. I feel like that would just settle a debate between who's better. A combination of Barcelona and the other small teams, not including Real Madrid because they didn't call any of them up, versus the entire English league plus Harry Kane. I don't know. Oh, also, for some reason, that the guy that got sent off in this game for England, was it England? Was it this one? If I remember correctly. Yeah, this guy Kwanzaa. He for some reason got a 2-game suspension. I have no idea why, but did he start in the previous game? Hold on. I what the fuck? I need to know. Did he start in this game? I just didn't remember this guy. Kwanzaa. Oh, he certainly did not start in this game, so I mean I guess it's fine, but yeah. He got a 2-game suspension for some reason. So he's missed this one and now he's gonna miss this one, which I mean that hurts a little, but at the same time, whatever. So France or Spain probably are definitely the favorites in the final and third place. England, Argentina. I mean, it's an interesting matchup, but I just don't see, unless shithouse happens, I just don't think either of them are going to win. They have put up the most unconvincing performances imaginable to make it to a semifinal, and yeah. I mean, again, Argentina, what the fuck is that? Oh, yeah. Argentina has even faced like a team in the top 15, so we'll see. We'll see how that plays out, but yeah, it'll be interesting semis. It's the top 4 teams in the world according to FIFA rankings. I'm sure FIFA would rather have this outcome than any of the other ones. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. we will see how it goes. And yeah, I guess I'll see you guys for the semifinals. Goodbye.